Thank you for joining me for yoga today. And what I'm going to share is a reflection from the Daily Om. It's titled Learning to Slow Down. And this is something I know I needed to hear this week. Throughout our lives, we are taught to value getting things done quickly. We learn that doing is more valuable than merely being, and that making the most of life is a matter of forging ahead at a hurried pace. Yet, as we lurch forward in search of some elusive sense of fulfillment, we find ourselves feeling increasingly disconnected. More importantly, we fail to notice the simple beauty of living. When we learn to slow down, we rediscover the significance of seemingly inconsequential aspects of life. So meal times become meditative celebrations of nourishment. A job well done becomes a source of pleasure, no matter what the nature of our labors. We give ourselves the gift of time to indulge our curiosity, to enjoy the moment, to appreciate worldly wonders, to sit and think, to connect with others, and to explore our inner landscapes more fully. As we learn to slow down, we soon realize that eliminating unnecessary rapidity from our experiences allows us to fill time in a constructive and fulfilling way. So your relaxed tempo begins to open your mind and heart to deeper levels of awareness that help you discover the true gloriousness of being alive. So we're going to slow down a little bit today in our yoga practice as well. I have a yoga teacher who used to say, "Are you a human being or a human doing?" Sometimes I feel like a human doing. So let's come back to being human beings, just being, especially in the summertime of year when the air is warm and maybe moist, and things kind of call out to us to slow down, to enjoy, to notice. So bring your hands in front of your legs, get a comfortable seat. I'm just gonna hug in and notice. Notice what happens. Notice if you feel a little bit taller in your spine. Notice if your chin is lifting up, and then just gently bring your pointer finger to that little part of your chin. If you had a dimple, or you might have a dimple, whether or not you have one, your dimple part right there. And see if that brings your chin down a little bit. And your neck in line with your spine. Let your hands relax. Begin to notice yourself breathing. So next time you breathe in, and breathe out. Notice the breath, the rim of your nostrils, maybe going up the nostrils. Cool or warm. Notice how your body begins to feel as you sit with your breath. Let's add some movement, linking our movement with the breath. Your hands come out to the sides, and as you inhale, reach the arms out and up and overhead, nice and easy. And then as you exhale, let your arms soften, gently come back down. Inhaling, like the inhale is lifting your arms up. And as you exhale, the arms release back down. Maybe you can feel your shoulder blades separating as your arms are reaching up. Shoulder blades slowly coming together again as your arms are coming down. Let's do that one more time. All right, now we're going to let the right hand come outside of your right hip. And let the left arm come up and overhead, reaching up, getting nice and long, and then gently coming overhead. And your right elbow might bend a little bit. You're going to keep your left hip down. Breathing. As you breathe, maybe you feel space opening up. Left side, the left ribs. More breaths. Let's take that left hand and bring it in front of us. Bring the right hand next to it. Just gently fold forward. Maybe let your elbows soften. Maybe let your neck take your head forward. Still breathe. Maybe you feel your inhales and exhales on your back now. Back up to sitting and let your left hand come out to the left hip and inhale that right arm up, get nice and tall, and then take it overhead. Breathe. Feeling some expansiveness in your right ribs, the right side of your torso. Let's take 2 more breaths. We're going to take things a little slow today. That arm come up and back up to sitting. We're going to take a turn to the right, but if you'd like, you can let your right foot come down and your right knee come up. And then turn to the right, bring your right hand behind you, and the left hand can hold on to that right leg. This different way of taking a turn. Rotation to the right. Your spine be nice and tall. Tops of your shoulders can soften. And let's take about 4 more breaths. Noticing movement of the breath. We're going to face the front and we're going to turn to the left, but feel free if you'd like to let your left knee come up and then turn, your left hand come behind and your right hand can hold on to that leg. Feel yourself breathe. The tops of your shoulders soften. We're letting parts of our body that might feel tense, we're letting that tenseness soften a bit by bit, breath by breath. And then come and face the front. Good. So we've moved the spine in 6 directions. You can put your feet down, kind of fold over your legs. self-breathing. So we move the spine forward and back, side to side, and then turning side to side. Now when you're ready, we're going to come to hands and knees. And if your knees are sore, or if your knees feel tender, feel free to take your mat and make a little fold in it. And you can put your knees on that, or you can put your knees on a folded blanket, if you have that, or a pillow. So there's ways to help us to do our yoga practice without discomfort. And then the hands facing forward, fingers are spread. So as you inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your chin, and as you exhale, round your back and tuck your chin. And then inhaling, letting your back arch to the floor. Exhaling, letting your back round to the ceiling. Let's do that a couple more times. Now let's change it a little bit. So when you inhale, we're going to move the shoulders forward. Let your feet come down, and as you exhale, bring your hips toward your heels. And then inhale, come up. And exhale, forward. Good, and let's stay here in child's pose. A couple breaths. Connecting with how your body feels beneath your skin from the inside. And then when you're ready, you're going to come back up to the knees and let your right foot come forward. So your right foot's coming forward between your hands, but it's close to the right hand. We're going to do a little bit in a lunge. So when you inhale, let your hips come forward. And then when you exhale, you're going to take your hips back and you can walk your hands back. Inhale. Move, bending your knee more, moving your hips forward, and exhale. Maybe getting a stretch in the back of that right leg. Let's do that. Then come back to your right leg forward, and we're going to turn the left toes under, and you can stay right here, or if you'd like to try to lift that left knee off the floor. A low lunge. A couple breaths right here. You imagine that your legs are like a scissors. When you inhale, it's like right at the thighs are coming together. Just imagining and exhaling, they're spreading apart. So you're getting those inner thighs, a little bit of movement, nice and gentle. Now we're going to take a turn to the right. So you can let your left knee come down and with that right arm lift up, follow it with your eyes. And then let the right hand come down, come inside that right leg and lift your left arm up. And then take that left hand down. Walk your hands to the left a little bit and then see if you can soften your elbows. Let yourself kind of fold in. If your knees are sore, you can be sitting down and folding it. Let your hips come down. And then let your right knee come back next to the left. Bring your hips back towards your heels. Let's take a few breaths in a resting child's pose. You can cross your arms, rest your head. And notice what's going on. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then we'll bring the left leg forward. So when you're ready, bring your left foot forward between your hands. It's close to your left hand. And first we're going to inhale. Let the hips come forward, bending that knee. Exhale. Bring your hips back. Walk your hands back so you can stretch the back of that left foot. Do that a couple more times. Take 2 or 3 breaths in each position. That is absolutely fine. Breathe at your own pace. Let's do that one more time. And then bring your hands down on either side of that left foot. And you may want to come off your right knee. So we're coming into a lunge. I had just kind of wiggle my foot back a little bit. And now when we're in this lunge, the knee, your left knee is over your ankle. Take a couple breaths right here. You can try to get that feeling of pulsing. First letting imagining the legs coming together and exhaling, letting them separate just a little bit. Just getting those inner thighs and hip muscles to get a little bit of movement. Let that right knee come down again. We're going to take a turn to the left. You can let that hip go back. Notice where you can make movement inside. Let's take one more breath here. Expanding. Now we're going to bring the left hand down so it's touching, hugging the inside of that left leg. And now we're going to reach the right arm up. A little bit of a balance. Nice and easy. One more breath. And then bring your right hand down. Walk your hands over to the right a little bit and begin to fold in. Find a place where it feels beneficial to you. You can bring your arms down. Find a place where you can feel yourself letting go in those tense spots. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to let the left knee come back to the right. Bring the hips back and take a pause. Rest your head on your arms. Just notice how you're feeling. Taking it slower than usual today. And when you're ready, we're going to come up to standing. And you can put your hands back. you like. Put a bend in your mat, you can straighten that. Walk your hands up your legs, come up to standing. Oh. And maybe shake things up. Fine. Let your body be vertical, standing, moving side to side, shaking it out. Let your shoulders unwind. Let your legs unwind. Begin to step your feet closer together so your feet are about hip distance apart. Softness in the knees. Now we're going to reach the arms up and overhead. Ooh. Interlace your fingers and turn your palms up. Finding that length in the body. Can you feel your heels and the base of your toes pressing down as well? All right, we're going to take one more inhale here. And then let your right arm come to your waist. And take that left arm overhead. Taking a slight bend to the right. Pressing down with your left foot. Feeling expansion on the left side. You can look down at your mat. Up at your hand. And a couple more times. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Breathing. Taking space. Now next inhale, bring that right arm up. Nice and tall. And then let your left hand come to your waist. And take a bend over to the left. Stand with your right foot so that that right side is getting some space. Breathe a little down at the mat and up at your hand. And a little movement in your neck that way. Nice and easy. And let that arm come down. Good. Now, bring your arms forward into chair pose. And then up and overhead. And then down to chair pose again. And then inhale, the arms overhead. Now let's take it to chair pose. And then bring your arms back as you fold over, arms back behind you. And then inhale, bring the arms forward to chair pose. And then standing and arms overhead. Exhale, arms down and around to chair. And then down, hands behind you, forward bend. Inhale back up to chair. Exhale the arms down and around and up overhead. Inhale here. It's going to be chair. And over. Chair. Good. This is the last one. Up and overhead. Good. And then let your arms float back down. Shake them up. Bring your hands to your shoulders. You can make some circles with the elbow. Take it forward, up. And then pause wherever you are and take your circles back, down, back, up, and forward. When we're circling the elbows, we're really circling the shoulders. Step the legs a little more than hip distance apart. And we're going to inhale the arms out like a star. The arms are out, the legs are out. You can even point your feet out a little bit. And when we exhale, we're going to bend the elbows, bend the knees, bend the hips. Move forward. Inhale and expand. Exhale. Drawing it in. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, spread your fingers. last one like this. Bring your hands to your thighs. Let your feet point forward if they were sideways. And let your hips go back. You can let your hands come to the floor. You can even walk your hands forward and kind of grip your hands in. Your fingernails, your fingertips into the floor, and let your hips go back. Breathing here. Now we're going to let the left hand come to the floor, kind of under your nose. Your knees can have a bend in them. And let the right arm up to the ceiling. Turning to the right. More breaths here. Now, as you're turning to the right, you're also letting your hips go back and your top of your head go forward, so you're extending through your spine. One more breath. Let that right hand come down, right where the left hand was, and then let the left arm come up. And take a turn to the left. One more. Walk your hands over to the right knee. Let the right knee bend a little bit. Hands over to the left knee bend. Shifting your weight from right to left. Let your feet get a little bit wider. Now when you come to the right, you can lift that right arm over to the left arm. Going to the right. And let your feet turn a little bit. The movement gets a little bigger as we go into it, bit by bit. Now we're going to kind of bring it down a little bit. Kind of walk over and bend the knee, and then bring your hands to the middle and let one knee come down and then the other. And come back down to your mat, back down to sitting. Let's let the legs come forward. Sit this way. Let your legs be hip distance apart, so there's 6 or 7 inches between your heels. Wiggle your toes. Let your hands come beside you and behind you, so that you can let your shoulders come forward, up, back. Feel your collarbones lift. Sitting nice and tall, lifting across the top of your chest. Taking some breaths here. Let's take 3 more breaths right here. Feeling the lifting. Opening and making space inside. One more breath here. Now we're going to reach your arms up and overhead. We're going to fold forward, but feel free to bend your knees. That's what I like to do. Bend the knees and then fold forward, and then let everything go. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Let your head relax. Bring your hands behind you a little bit. Your knees are bent, and let your knees go to the right. Up. Exhale your knees to the left. and to the left. Do it one more time each side. Start walking across the mat automatically. And then when you're ready, come to lying down. Find your way to lying all the way down on your back. Place of being horizontal and feeling gravity. The hug of gravity. We're going to stretch. We're going to lengthen the right side and then the left. So let your right arm come back and overhead. Flex your right foot. Right toes are pointing to the ceiling. Lengthen that right side. Let your left side relax. Still breathing. All right. Bring the right arm down. We're going to now stretch and lengthen the left side. So left arm back, flex the left foot. Take 3 more breaths here. And then bring your left arm down. Bring your knees in, hug your knees close to your chest. And roll side to side or make circles. All right, now you're going to have your knees bent and your legs, your shins are parallel to the floor. And bring your hands in front of your knees. So your hands, press your hands into your knees and your knees into your hands. This is where we're going to start. Movement is inhale. We're going to take the the right leg and straighten it and the right arm back. Inhale here and then exhale back to the start. Now the left side. Inhale, straighten the left leg, left arm back. Exhale back to our start. Inhale, arm, left leg. Exhale back. Hands to knees. Inhale, left arm and left leg. Back to start. Let's do that one more time each side. Feel free to take 2 or 3 breaths here. All right, let your feet come to the floor. Soles of the feet are going to come together. Knees are going to go out to the side. Arms are going to go out to the side. Yourself rest. Oh, for 5 or 6 breaths. This is a very restful position. Feel your body soft. Body slow down. Bring your hands outside your thighs. Let your hands help your knees to come up. Let me show you another resting pose. So your knees are bent, your feet are on your mat, and then walk your feet mat to the edges of the mat. And let your knees and legs come together. I like this one better. Knees out to the sides or the knees together. Give them time to rest. 3 more breaths. Your feet in, so your ankles are under your knees. Let's lift the right foot off the floor. Let your right ankle cross over your above your left knee. And now roll to the left. Roll to the left. And let your right foot come to the floor. And feel free to straighten your legs a little bit more. Find a place where you can feel soft. And then let's take it. Take your 6 breaths. Right here. You might want to look over your right shoulder. Like the softness to settle in. Take 2 more breaths. And roll back onto your back. On the floor with your knees bent. And then let your left, lift your left foot off the floor. Let that left ankle cross it right above your right knee. Roll to the right. And let your legs, maybe your legs get a little straighter. Or come down a little bit. Take it to a place where you feel it feels beneficial to you. And let's breathe. It's a softness to come in. Let's take 2 more breaths. Back onto your back, and we'll come to final relaxation. So legs straighten, your heels be about knee width apart. Arms by your sides with the palms up. Guide you through relaxation. It's the parts of you that are feel that gentle hug of breath. Shoulders, hips, legs, knees. Those places soft. Spaces, space between your eyebrows. Muscles that you use to smile. Muscles along your jaw. Those muscles in your face. Take rest. Bring awareness to your right shoulder, your arm, elbow, soft. Mental awareness to your shoulder and upper arm and elbow. Soft. So start onto your right hip, thigh, and knee, arm, right leg, and foot. Right. Soft. Deep rest. Awareness. Left hip, thigh, left leg, ankle, left and soft. Notice if there's any place that's still holding on to tension. Slow down. Take this for the next few minutes. It's not everything. Begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. lifting of the inhale. Softly with the exhale. You lie here with your breath. And find a little movement in your fingers and your toes. Let your head slowly turn to the right and to the left. And when you're ready, reach your arms overhead. Take an inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth into a sigh. Right on. Let's do that again. So big inhale through the nose and exhale into You're going to come up to a comfortable seat, so feel free to roll over on one side, bend your knees, take your time. You can let your hands come down and press into your hands to come back up. You're ready, come back up to a comfortable seat. That's our practice. Bring your fingertips together. Let your palms separate. You have a ball inside here. And when you exhale, bring your palms together. And then inhale. That ball, make your elbows come to the side. Exhale. Let's do that a few more times. So inhale. And let your fingertips, let your palms come together and let the three middle fingers separate. So you've got your thumbs and baby fingers touching and the rim of your palm touching. Hands down so you can look down and see your lotus. Like a lotus flower. Lotus blooms in the mucky water. The mud and the muck. So maybe learn to live like the lotus, content in the muddy waters. It's from one of my yoga teachers as well. Deep breaths here. Maybe thinking of something that you're grateful for. Feeling with gratitude. Fill your heart. And bring your palms together. The spirit in me honors the spirit in each of you. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you have a good rest of your day, rest of your week. Maybe you consider taking some time to just take things slow. See how that feels. See how it makes you feel from the inside out. All the things that we do in yoga are for you to use whenever you need them. They're part of your toolkit to help you feel better, to enhance your own well-being.